Hey guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra Unit 6 Final Exam Review video number 2. If you stumbled upon this first, go back and click on video number 1 because we've already gone over the top half. Alright, now we're going to go to the bottom and we're going to talk about the word problems and then we're going to talk about the graphs. Now, if you didn't know this or not, but there are 3 formulas that we talked about with the appropriate exponential growth decay formulas. So the first one we talked about was growth. Now, the formula for growth is y equals a times y plus r to the t power. And we're going to talk about what those variables mean in a second. Okay? Now, the decay formula was very similar, where it was y equals a 1 minus r to the t. Okay? So for both of those, a equals your starting amount. R equals your rate. And we always wanted that rate as a decimal. Okay? Always make sure that it's changed to a decimal. And then t equals your time. Okay? So those were the first 2 that we talked about. And then we did another one of compound interest. Okay, and this formula was a little harder. We had a equals p 1 plus r over n to the nt power. Okay, so a was your account balance. P is your principal. And your principal is your starting amount. R, same thing, is your rate as a decimal. Okay, we have n, n's new. N is the number of times that it is compounded in a year. Banks do that all the time. And then the last one, t is time. Okay? Now, if you don't know that stuff, I would definitely put that on your note card. Okay? All right, let's go back to the notes, or the review. So, the car purchased for, ooh, that sounds important, $24,000 is expected to depreciate at a rate of 3% monthly. Write an equation that represents the value of the car after t months. Okay, so they're not asking us to solve it, they're just asking us to write the equation. All right, so the things that we need to know is we need to know what a is, we need to know what the rate is, and we need to know what the t is. Well, the amount of money that we're starting with is, yeah, that's the 24,000. The rate is 3%, and we need to change that to a decimal. You divide it by 100. And t, they didn't really tell us what t was. Okay, they just said to use the variable. Now, are we going to use growth or are we going to use decay? We're going to use decay. Okay, and it's all because of that word right there, depreciate. Okay, it loses value. So y equals 24,000 times 1 minus 0.03 all to the t power. You might be like, yo, Mr. Grice, I'm done, I got it. No, you're not. We can simplify that. And what'd you get? Should have gotten 0.97. Okay. And now we can tell that this is depreciating just by looking at that 0.97 because it's less than 1. I know that it's going to depreciate in value. All right, number 10. When Joe was born, his grandparents deposited $30,000 into a college saving account, paying 5% interest compounded semi-annually. what will the balance of the account be 12 years later? All right, well, this sure as heck doesn't sound like growth or decay, or one of those ones that we were just talking about. Yeah, this is compound interest, okay? So that's where we use the capital A, the P, the R, the N, and the T. Okay, so the account balance is what we're looking for. So it said the principal, the starting amount was 3,000. Our rate was 5%, so that's 0.05, and the T was 12 years. But how many times is it compounded? Oh, semi-annually. Well, what does semi-annually mean? Semi-annually is 2. Okay. I actually went back to my notes. If you take a look, this is our 6.4 notes, day 2, and it tells us what all those words mean. Okay, so that would be important to go back and look at. All right, so now that we can start solving this and plugging in. We can say that A equals the 3,001 plus, we have our rate, which is 0.05, divided by 2, and then it's 2 times 12. Okay, we got to be very careful about plugging that in. And you can just plug it into your calculator like that, or if you want to simplify it a little bit first, we can do that. Okay, if we have 0.05 divided by 2 plus 1, and there we go. So we get 1.025. So this was the first thing that I did. And I can do 2 times 12. 2 times 12 is 24. Okay? And now I'm going to make you guys do the rest. Go ahead and plug it in your calculators and tell me what you get. Okay, you should have gotten that A equals $5,426, and then we had to round that last, yep, to 18 cents. All right, number 11. In 1998, a gallon of gas cost 99 cents. If the rate of inflation, that's a key word right there, it's telling you what to do, was 9% every year, how much does a gallon of gas cost? All right, well, the word inflation, guess what that means? Yeah, that means growth. Okay, so this is exponential growth. I want you guys to see if you can do this all on your own. Go ahead and pause the video, and good luck. Okay, and you should have gotten that y equals rounded 393. Okay, and yes, since we rounded that, I forgot that I got to put the squigglies. Okay, now the only thing that was really difficult about this problem was finding the time. It's not 2014, guys. We had to find the difference between those 2 years. All right, on to the bottom. Graph the following exponential equation, y equals 1/2 4 to the x power. Now, when we talked about plugging these in, we want to pick 2 negative numbers, 0 and 2 positive. So -2, -1, 0, 1, and 2. That way we can see which side is increasing and which side is decreasing, okay? Because it's either growth or decay. I know what it is by looking at it, but I don't know if you guys do. So what you need to do is y equals 1/2 to the 4th, and then we're going to do this 5 times, and each time we do it, we are going to change, where's my copy? The variable, okay? So there's 1, there's 2, 3. Man, don't you wish you guys could do this? It'd make it so much easier. 4, 5, okay? And now the 5 times we have to do it to the -2nd, the -1st, 0, 1, and 2. Now, you can just plug this into your calculator, but we talked about if you're going into advanced algebra and doubling up or doing geometry over the summer, you should do this by hand, okay? So go ahead and pause the video and then we'll graph it together. Okay, those should have been the numbers that you got. Now I know some of those are going to be very, very difficult to graph. So let's start with the easy ones. We got 1, 2, and then 2, 8. Now 0, 1/2, we're just going to do our best, kind of guesstimate. And then when we talked about this is decay because it's getting smaller and smaller and smaller, it gets closer and closer to 0. It never really touches it, but it gets super close. And then our graph just boom, shoots straight up. Okay, so this is what a growth one looks like. Make sure we write exponential growth. Okay. All right, 13. Which graph represents the exponential equation? Y equals 1/3 x. Now, if you know which one is growth and which one is decay, you can kind of figure this out right away. Okay? Now, we know it's either exponential or growth or decay because of the variable at the top. And since it's going to be growth or decay, I know right away that C is not like that. All right? So, two different things that you can do. Just like our last one, we can plug some numbers in. Y equals 1/3. I'm sorry, I was writing that down wrong. Y equals, in parentheses, 1/3. And then the two numbers that I see a lot, like see the points that they have? Well, do it to the first power. You can do it to the negative first power. And do it to the 0. That's going to tell you. Okay, so why don't you pause the video and do that? Did you guys figure out which one it was? Okay, well, let's see how you did. Now, I'm not going to do the math because I paid attention in class and I know that when our b, that middle part, is less than 1, it's exponential decay. So I know that b is my answer. And because a is growth and d is growth, I can just cross those out right away. And I just saved myself a bunch of time. Hopefully you did the same. Now, that's going to be it for Algebra Semester 2 Unit 6 Final Review, video number 2, and the thing and all together. Now, if you have any questions, please come talk to Ms. Carranza or myself. I'm here before school. Ms. Carranza is here after school. Your homework is Unit 6 practice. And remember, if there's anything that you had trouble with or any of the formulas, make sure to put those on your note card for the final. This is Mr. Grice, signing off. Thanks for watching.